for you when you decided you were ready to go on your own? And tell us a little, who you are and what you do, but also, when was that time? Do you remember what that time was, where you made that decision? So, Chris, we'll start with you.
I think the first time was before I had my own business. I worked for a year with other pet sitting companies. There's a franchise in town, and then I was working for actually 2 of them. And I started to get my own clients independent of what they were giving me, and I figured I have to get my own insurance because I'm not covered under their insurance. So then I thought, well, I better get a business license too. So, and as time went on, I had color coding, whose clients for whose, I had 3 different things going on, and I just said, I've got to go out on my own, and that's kind of what propelled me to do it on my own.
Okay. So you actually kind of created the momentum first, doing it, and then there was a day where you're like, hey, why am I not doing this for myself?
Exactly.
Okay. Was that scary?
No, I think I was ready by that time. I knew what I was doing.
Good for you. So what I want you to take away from that is if you're in a spot right now where you're like, I can do this, that's not false hope. You will reach a point where that confidence matches your ability. That's exactly what you did. And not an easy business either, I'm sure.
It's not brain surgery.
But I mean, as far as starting and marketing it and doing this.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Kevin, now what I want to tell you about Kevin, who does massage therapy, Kevin's done over 10,000 massages. But he had to start with 1, right? So I know a little about your story, but kind of tell us how you got started.
I owned a construction company for a long time. Loved doing that. I wanted to educate my brain just a little bit, so I took some classes, and what I thought would be interesting, physiology and anatomy. Massage school is a cheap way to go. I ended up doing it as a hobby, and a lot of people were fascinated that, even as a hobby, they would say, wow, that's the best massage I've ever had. So then it became a social thing. That's nice. I felt better about myself. What occurred to me after a few months was that they were not only paying me full price, they were tipping heavily. And then sometimes, like there was a case where I worked on a mom, and she went home and apparently was a different woman. Her kids and her husband came in later and then bought her a package of 10, whatever you did. So I was making a difference in the world and making money. And I did the books. What I was making as a hobby actually paid all my minimum expenses in my life. So I thought, wow, people like it, and I could actually make money. This is a no-brainer.
So that's another way. It started as a hobby. How do you know when you're ready to go into business? That tells you when the money shift happens, right? Sometimes we step off the cliff. For those of us who are the extreme entrepreneurs, you know who you are. Right? We're like, oh, screw it, I'll step off the cliff. It's all good. I'll figure it out on my way down. Right? The smart way is to get that momentum and analyze. You started as social and did the hobby, and then you realized it became a business, and you're on the other side of that quadrant, right? So, I know your story, but as a screenwriter, which is
very different, being a small business owner, but still has that business aspect.
So I want you to share how long it was before you engaged in the process.
How long before I committed?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it was a long process, because I think for a long time it took so long for me to figure out what I was passionate about. I really wanted to find something that I was excited about, and so when I did find it, I just wanted to embrace it, and it was scary because screenwriting is very intimidating because it's a hard business to get into. There's so much competition. It's like telling people you want to be an actress. You get a little embarrassed telling people I'm a screenwriter, because it's like saying I want to be Sandra Bullock. People think that's strange, But,
and how many years was it from the time, even you wrote the first one, to the time you went back to pursue that passion in real estate?
Before we were married, I don't know. It took me a while to be able to have the confidence to say that this is what I want to do and to take it seriously. And we had babies, and things happen, and life happens.
But it was almost 8 years.
To this point?
From when you,
well, to this point.
So the point I wanted to draw from that, because she kept saying, well, I'm not doing it, I'm not making money yet. That's not purpose. There's some of us in here that have something we really, really want to do that we put on the shelf for a little while. Or a business that we started, and it's been going, and we think, oh, we should be further along than we are, or should be better at it than what we are. And what makes me so proud of her, I'm proud of you too. But being around her, and we've been on this journey together, going down our own paths, is that she still went back to it. It wasn't like, well, it didn't work, and so I stopped. 7 years went by before she really re-engaged in it again and started, and now is just starting to have some of that. But have you ever felt like intimidated to start? Felt like there's too much competition, you're not good enough? You're not alone. Even if you're in a business right now, you may feel that way a little bit, right? I know I feel that way all the time. Today I'm so excited, I got rebooked for Intel again. Super excited. And then the other half of me is like, holy, like, this is a big deal. I get a little nervous. Am I good enough? Can I do this? I still go through those things all the time. So you're not alone if you're in that aspect. So